Hello and welcome to my channel. No one is sponsoring me because I'm still new to YouTube, but I'm gonna pretend that this brand has only because I genuinely enjoy drinking this drink. I mean, I was just drinking their coconut water before, but recently I realized they have a coconut water and lychee flavor. How can I ever go back to drinking plain coconut water now? It's gonna be hard, even though there isn't much I like other than coconut water and cucumber and avocado and oh god, so refreshing. Also, I'm wearing white eyeliner today and white bindi, which is pretty much just the same paint I used for my eyeliner that I put. What do you guys think about the eyeliner? I don't know. Sometimes I like doing something different, so I thought let's try white today. I'm also wearing Indian today because I do not get the chance to wear Indian out here often. And I know a lot of my audience is based in India because I've been looking at the stats. So I thought, why not make you feel at home? I'm just kidding. I miss putting Indian clothes on. I miss mehendi. I miss golgappe. I miss a lot. I miss a lot of stuff that I didn't even realize I would ever miss after leaving India. But with that being said, I just want you to know I'm very happy here. Okay, the missing is not like depressing me or anything like that. But yeah, lately I've been noticing things like, oh, it's been forever, I haven't had mehendi on. So when I do come to India next, the first thing I'm gonna do is get mehendi on. Like the henna will be covering me all the way to my elbows if I can help it. That's the plan. Anyway, enough yapping about off-topic stuff. Today's video is about the 3 Ps, which I have invented and called the 3 Ps because they are patience, perseverance, and prayer. In my opinion, and this is just an opinion obviously, if you are in any kind of trouble, going through any kind of hardship in life, no matter what it is, if you can just practice the 3 Ps, you will win. You will get out of there, get out of that difficulty in no time. You will eventually overcome the said difficulty. So let's break it down. Starting with patience. Oh my God, where do I even begin? Patience has been mentioned in scripture so many times as one of the strongest abilities a human being can possess. And I gotta give credit where credit is due. I think one of the most patient people I've ever met in my life is my mom. And I wish I could say I've learned that from her. I'm still working on my patience. I think I've done better than Oh, hi, Sufi. Hello. Sufi's back for a show. If you guys are wondering why she's wearing that massive collar, is because she's got a bit of a skin problem. And every time I apply her cream, like her medicine cream on the patch with missing hair, she licks it off and makes it worse. So we had to figure out a way. And I don't like putting plastic collars and like plastic cone like weird looking stuff on her. So we had to settle with a puffer jacket, like neck collar thingy, which is quite very literally and effectively blocking her from licking her, well, elbow. It's actually her elbow where she's licked herself to the point of baldness. Anywho, back to patience. Let's be honest, there are times when things are out of our control, and we are quite literally suffering as a result, and we can't do much other than be patient. If ever you're wondering if you're patient and you think you're not because you lose your temper whilst driving in traffic or whatever, I want to remind you that if ever you had to endure a hardship because you literally could not get out of it due to circumstances that weren't in your favor, then you have patience. You just didn't know it. The good thing about patience is, though, that if you can just tell yourself that you are being patient and that you have patience, you actually start to have patience and can be patient. Who'd have thought it was that easy? Oh, wow. Law of attraction. Patience is a virtue for a reason. It is a very honorable thing to do and have the ability to do. And every one of us has the capacity for it. In some way, shape, or form in our life, we have to be patient. If you're dealing with children, you have to be patient, for example. So if you've ever had to deal with your little cousins or whatever, siblings, you have patience. Now, the trick is to simply transfer. First, stop telling yourself that you don't have patience just because you can't endure traffic. Second, think of the times when you have been patient in your life. Remind yourself that you have been patient at those times. And then tell yourself that, hey, I can use this and expand it. I have evidence in my life that shows I've been patient, so that means that I can continue to be patient. And any time in life, if you notice yourself losing your temper, remind yourself internally, hey, patience. I can be patient. I can't do much else right now, so I'm going to be patient. Hello. And now the next one is perseverance. I'm actually going to read the definition of what perseverance is from the internet for you because why not? So the online definition of perseverance is continued effort to do or achieve something despite difficulties, failure, or opposition. Persevere. Or in other words, be steadfast. No matter what's happening, you have no option but to win. So an example of that would be if you feel like there's people at work that don't like you or don't approve of you or your style of working, but you still show up, you still do your best, you're persevering. To be steadfast, in other words, another great human strength to endure and get through any difficulty. And the way I like to do it is by simply showing up. Keep showing up, keep showing up, no matter what. Keep showing up and doing what you can, doing your karma, doing your duty in the face of everything. And look, there is a thin line here because sometimes people think when you're persevering that you are letting people walk all over you. So it's important to not mix that up with boundaries because why would you persevere in a relationship that you can walk out of? But then there are certain relationships you can't walk out of, such as family ties. And especially when we're young, sometimes we can't leave because we're young and we're not independent. So for all my young viewers out there who might have difficulties with family members and not have the independence or the financial security to be able to leave, persevere, be patient, and just watch how easy it gets to sustain your life. And now the third one, and my most favorite one, prayer. If you've stayed this far in the video, then first of all, I love you. And you're in for a treat because here's what prayer has that patience and perseverance doesn't. Prayer can make you patient and give you the strength to persevere. What exactly is prayer? Think hard. Praying is praising your maker, among many things, but to put it very simply, praying is praising your maker, is being grateful of your maker, or source, or universe, whatever you want to call it. It is being grateful for the energy, the power that is responsible for your livelihood, your very existence, and the existence of everything else around you. Now notice how human beings are quite literally the only species capable of communicating through words. I think there is an exception to that. I think dolphins also communicate or something. I don't know, but for me, I think human beings qualify as the most articulate beings. While a lot of animals and plants have the ability to communicate in their own mysterious ways, I believe the fact that we can speak is special. The fact that we can speak so many languages is special. It's almost as if it is an advantage over other beings. It's almost as if it's what sets us apart amongst many things. It's almost as if it is magical. Now, the thing about being able to speak is that we know words have power to hurt or heal. Because words are power, that's why human beings are powerful. That's why the human species is so advanced. I'm not saying that words get all the credit, but it's one of those advantages we have, one of those very significant ones. We can assume that we are special in our ability to speak. Now, if you've ever done any mantra chanting, you would know that words have vibration, and vibrations have frequencies, and those can elevate us. That's why we like music, and that's why music has such a significant prominence and ability to enhance mood. Listening to a sad song can make you feel sad, and listening to a happy song can make you feel happy. Similarly, praising God is almost like singing for God. And if it can please you, it can please the energy that created you. Now, the creation cannot be very different from the creator, because the creator puts a little bit of itself or himself or herself in the creation. That is why when you look at paintings from the same artist, you'll notice certain strokes are always used, or certain paints are always used, or certain colors are always used. And that is why when you look around you, things are very similar, like trees are similar to the veins in our body, just for an example, right? The branches, very similar to veins in the body. So surely God created us and everything, and he put little bits of himself in everything he created. And we can use those little bits as a link back to him. Speaking, talking, communicating can be one of those links. When you appreciate someone, when you compliment someone, you make their day. You make them happy. Now use that link for God. Be certain that if you can spread positivity through music, through words, through vibrations amongst yourselves and your pets and your plants, so can you spread positivity toward God. Now, God doesn't need your positivity, but it will impact him, because he's given you the ability to impact through speech. And so that's why prayer is powerful, because it creates impact. And that impact is not just pleasing God, it changes you as well. Let me give you an example. When you ask for something, what you're doing is creating space for it. When you do the act of asking God for something, you make yourself open to receiving it, because you have done the act of asking. You've created space. But before asking, that space has not been created. You have not allowed God to come in and give it to you. God continues to still give things to us because he's generous, even when we don't ask. But I'm just saying, if you ask, that is one knock at a door. And a door is more likely to open if it is knocked at. Now, if you were to ask multiple times, that's creating impact, that's creating vibration, that's creating frequency, and that is leading to more knocks on the door. Now, we know God exists, and we know God is present, and when God is present and he exists, he will open the door eventually. It all depends on how often and how much you're willing to knock. Now, we have heard various versions of ask and you shall receive in different scriptures, meaning God himself is saying that if you ask me, I will give you what you ask for. Do you see how powerful that is? You've literally been asked to ask. This is one of the many generosities of God. He's literally telling you how to receive by asking. So ask. And you don't realize that there are other things that happen when you ask. When you ask, you have not only created a space to receive, you've also now created a relationship with God. Why? Because in the act of asking, you have made him someone capable of giving. That's why you're asking, right? Because you believe he can give. And there the relationship has been created. And that is why, irrespective of your need being spiritual or material in nature, the act of asking is building a relationship with God. Every ask is you strengthening that relationship. And believe me, there comes a time when you stop asking and you just want the relationship because you realize how rewarding that relationship becomes. Trust me, after a while, there is no door left to knock on because the door has been left open. And now you have access to God. So you can achieve all of that through prayer. It just grows. It's almost like when you go to the gym and you lift weights and then you can lift heavier and then you can lift heavier. People don't realize prayer has the same effect on a very spiritual, intimate level. And naturally, if the door opens and you have access to this infinite being, some of that is going to rub off on you. Your own energy will appear infinite. When you open the door to a generous being, the most generous being, you yourself will become generous because some of that energy will rub off on you. Does that make sense? And that is why through prayer, you will notice positive changes starting to happen into you. You will become patient. You will become generous. You will become someone who's capable of persevering. You will become strong. There's nothing you can't do in life if you decide to pray. Prayers can heal you. Prayers can elevate you. Prayers can give you whatever you want. And remember, you're asking the one. So you can't expect it to happen right away. Believe me, some prayers do get answered right away, but others don't. And if your prayers don't get answered, that is no reason to stop praying. And let me explain why. You're asking a really wise and infinite being of something who is capable of knowledge beyond your comprehension. So if he, in his very generous ability, deciding not to give you something, best believe it's for your good because he knows and you know not. Sometimes, for example, we really want to end up with this one person. But he knows he created that person and you, and he knows how compatible the two of you are going to be if you end up together. And maybe he has willed something else, something better for you. Life is complex, and sometimes bad outcomes lead to better outcomes. Sometimes for your story to unfold and for you to become the person he intends you to be, you have to go through hardships. And that means not all your prayers are going to be answered, because if you had it your way, you wouldn't move a muscle. If you had it your way, you would have all the money and all the riches and all the comforts in the world. There would be no struggle in your life if you had it your way. But God knows we learn through struggle. God knows we learn through hardships, and that's why he puts hardships in our lives. Through prayer, hardships will not disappear, but you will get the strength and the personality, literally the personality, to endure the difficulties that come your way. And better yet, to win out of them, because difficulties can knock us down. Prayers ensure you don't get knocked down. And in my opinion, we don't win when we don't have problems. We win when we face problems and we defeat them. I hope this makes sense. As you can probably tell, I'm very passionate about prayer, and I owe all my success to it, so I will advocate for it till the day I die. This is all I have for you today. I hope this video was of benefit to you. Remember the 3 P's in the face of difficulties, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. You know what to do.